This is the gorgeous Valle de Guadalupe in northern Baja California. Everything about this place inspires me to cook, from the astonishing variety of local seafood to the beautiful boutique farms, the artisanal cheeses, well, and of course, those fantastic world-class wines. So tonight I'm cooking a meal for some friends here in the middle of Mexico's wine country, the Napa Valley of Mexico. But before I get into the kitchen, I've got the whole morning open for a treasure hunt. I'm looking for the best ingredients that this area has to offer. My first stop was a local winery and organic farm called Mogor Baden. One day a week, they open up a farm stand, and they invite a number of other local growers to bring in their fresh produce and other artisanal products. They always draw a crowd of people that are looking for the very best. I had arrived with a few ideas of what I wanted to cook for dinner. Ideas that just kept morphing and expanding as I saw that fresh beauty that was available. The organic vegetables were especially great here. I picked up some cauliflower, some fennel, and a whole basket of other items that, well, with some crazy leap of faith, I figured I could work into the menu somehow. I packed things up and then headed to a local lamb farm where I got a quick tour and then picked up a couple of lamb legs to be the star attraction of tonight's dinner. Lamb isn't particularly common in a lot of places in Mexico, but in this area, with its uniquely Mediterranean climate, it's enjoyed a lot. I still had a few things that I needed, and a few of my winemaker friends had suggested that I check out Cremeria Los Globos. They have a wide selection of everything from honey to jarred fruit salsas and local olive oils.
Buenos días. Quesos.
But I'd come in primarily for the local artisan cheeses, and what an incredible selection they had. I got a chance to taste through a number of them, including a beautiful, creamy aged one.
Cremoso, ¿verdad?
Muy cremoso. And from what I tasted, I chose a couple of cheeses, along with a nice requesón, a fresh ricotta, and a stunning cheese that was made with epazote.
Big decision.
And along with all of that, I chose some local olives, both green ones and black ones, and some very unique tortillas, not made from flour or corn, but from soy and nopal cactus and parsley. Maybe I was getting a little carried away. I mean, I hadn't even seen the crusty homemade bread, the fresh crema, or that delicious-looking peanut salsa that was made with olive oil and chilies and garlic. Finally, I had to call it quits. Oh, but not until I had chosen some eggs, both chicken eggs and quail eggs, and some membrillo, that quince paste.
Membrillo perfecto.
This was quite a haul, but I had a And I'm used to making a dish that comes out and you eat it, and every day or 3 times a day I got to make a dish and then we eat it.
Sure.
You're making your dish over a really long period of time,
Right.
and it's like that. It's so completely different in terms of timing to what I do as a chef.
Yes.
Next, it was time to taste the bottled wine that we would pair with tonight's dinner. Well, I'm really interested in seeing what this tastes like, because I think it's going to go perfect with the little appetizers that I have planned for tonight. I like to do first bites that are varied in taste and texture, and that have a little bit of tanginess and sweetness and saltiness, and because I think it just opens your palate.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the reasons I always think about going to rosé. So what kind of grapes do we have?
We have 6 different grapes varietals. Have Tempranillo, Barbera, Cinsol, Sauvignon Blanc, and Muscatel. And what we do is we crush all these grapes together, and then put them in the fermentation tank, take the skins out overnight, and then just treat it like a white wine. No malolactic fermentation and no barrels.
Wow.
So I call this a white wine in red clothing.
I would call it
Cheers, and I call it delicious.
good wine.
Good.
Okay, now we got to pick a wine to go with this lamb dish that
Do we
I'm
have
doing.
to leave this one?
Yes, no, you can continue to enjoy it. I need to get on to the red wine to go with lamb dish. So we're talking a really robust lamb dish. Oh,
And Cabernet Sauvignon, about 35% Nebbiolo.
The idea of mixing it with Cabernet is very unusual, right?
We're using the Cabernet largely as a backbone.
It's your
And so that gives you, so now you're getting the flavor of the Nebbiolo with the background of the Cabernet Sauvignon.
Okay, the wine was chosen, and it was time to get into the kitchen and turn those amazing ingredients into dinner.
Up to the
All right.
kitchen. Then we got to
Wine in hand.
That's the only way to go here, right?
I do think so. I'm thinking about, for a first course, a simple salad, but I found these great mussels here. This place is known for cultivated mussels. So I thought I would incorporate those in and do a dressing. This is the part that I'm really excited about, that weaves together lime juice and some roasted green chilies and some local olives and olive oil. So the first thing I got to do is to roast a poblano chili. So I'm going to roast the poblano until it's blackened and blistered all over. Let it cool till I can handle it. Then slip off the blackened skin, give it a quick rinse to get all of the bits of stray skin off the outside, tear it open, take out the seeds, and then chop it up finely. And I'm going to scoop it up and put it into the blender. Now on to lime juice. And of course, when I'm cooking in Mexico, I love to choose the little key limes, the little native limes. Now, I'm going to make a dressing that's about 50% lime juice and 50% olive oil from the olive trees here in the Valle de Guadalupe. Half and half. In with the roasted poblano chili. Put in a little pitted green olives. I'm gonna add a little aromatic qualities from pan-roasted garlic. Now, you roast it in its skin for about 15 minutes until the little cloves are completely soft. And then I'm gonna put the top of the blender on and make a puree out of those olives and the poblano that are in with the olive oil and vinegar. Now's the time to taste it and see if it needs any more lime juice, salt. There's a lot of salt in those olives, but it does need a little bit more salt there. So I'll put that in there. I'm going to show you what I have in mind for this salad. I've got some of the little local salad greens here that we bought this morning, and I'm going to pour a little bit of the dressing on that. A little sprinkling of salt. And then I'm going to put those in the center of the plate here. I'll go in the middle. And then those mussels that I was talking about. I cooked the mussels first. They've cooled off, of course. And now I'm going to scoop up a bowl of them. Now, each one of them can be pried open. The part that doesn't have the meat in it, I'm taking off here so that we can put these guys around the plate. Then I'm going to drizzle on a little of our lime and olive dressing. I've got a little more of the roasted poblano here chopped up. And then at the little farmer's market this morning, I just couldn't resist getting some fava beans. I just think they're such a beautiful flavor that we roasted them in their little sheath and peeled them. A little extra dressing there. And we've got the first course ready. For the sauce for the lamb, I was thinking about something that would be deep and rich. And because this is olive country, I wanted to focus on the black olives. So I thought about black chilies, the pasilla negro chili, and to work with them, to make a sauce out of them, the first thing that you have to do is to take all of the seeds out. Just open them up, let the seeds fall out. You can pull out the veins while you're doing that. Now I'm going to toast the chilies. I've got a skillet over here that's heated to medium, and you just press them down for a few seconds for each side until they fill the kitchen with that beautiful chili aroma. You'll notice a little bit of a change in the color too. You don't want to see more than just a little wisp of smoke. I collected all of the toasted chilies into a bowl, covered them with hot tap water, and let them rehydrate for about 30 minutes. They're completely pliable now. And now I'm going to blend them into a sauce. So all of them go into the blender jar. I'm going to add, in this case, some of their soaking liquid because I want a pungent sauce here. My other flavorings, of course, are the black olives, in this case the oil-cured black olives, but you could use the regular brined black olives as well. I'm going to add aromatics like cumin, just a pinch of cumin, some Mexican oregano, and some black peppercorns that I'm going to crush together here in the Mexican mortar, the molcajete. Now all of that's going to go into the blender jar as well. Some beautiful sweet roasted garlic. And now I'm going to blend it to a smooth puree. As is standard in Mexico, I always like to strain these chili purees just in case there's stray seeds or some of the skin that didn't get completely ground up. And then it goes on to the cooking. Now I've got a pot over here that I've been heating because I want it to be really hot before I put this puree in here. So I've got it over kind of medium-high heat now. A little of the Valle de Guadalupe olive oil, and then you want to hear that sizzle when the chili puree goes in. Cook it, stirring until it's reduced to the consistency of tomato paste. Into the pot goes some of the Adobe Guadalupe wine. I chose the fruitiest, youngest one. Some water, a sprinkling of salt, and now I'm going to let it simmer for about 45 minutes. I had a lot of vegetable prep to do for the boudin that I had planned to serve with the lamb. So I asked Marta, the bed and breakfast chef at Adobe Guadalupe, if she'd give me a hand. We started out by dicing those little patty pan squash and then thinly slicing the fresh garlic and the fennel bulb on the mandolin. I chopped up the cool-looking romesco cauliflower into little florets, and then Marta cleaned the pistils out of the squash blossoms and sliced them up. To finish the cauliflower, I blanched it for a few minutes in boiling salted water, and then went on to chiffonade a large bunch of cilantro as the herb to flavor the dish. We added everything together in a bowl and then stirred it up with a good amount of that rich, tangy Mexican crema. Finally, the cauliflower was drained and added to the mix of vegetables. At the very end, I shredded a potato and then squeezed the excess moisture out of it so that it would absorb some of the water from the cooked vegetables. After a big pinch of salt, I was ready to spoon it into individual serving dishes and bake the boudin. For the boudin topping, I quickly sautéed a pan full of fresh breadcrumbs in that delicious Guadalupe Valley olive oil. And we also grated some cheese that would melt on top of the hot boudin when it came out of the oven. For the lamb dish, I made sure that the fire in the brick oven was nice and hot. And then I had to break down the saddle of lamb into 2 legs. But all they had for me to work with was a machete. Once the legs were deboned, I salted them well on both sides and then slid them into the hot oven. While the lamb was cooking, I melted a few pieces of raw sugar, it's called piloncillo, into a little of the chili sauce. I used that sweetened sauce then as a glaze for the lamb. I slid it back into the oven to finish cooking while I worked on the dessert.
Now, maybe you've never seen this stuff fresh. This is chamomile. The chamomile, when it's fresh, has this incredible aroma of fresh apples. That's why they call it manzanilla here, té de manzanilla, when they make it into a tea form. So I thought I could infuse that into the wine and the sweet, and that would give us a unique flavored sabayon to put over beautiful fruit that I found at the markets here. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, I've got a little water here, and I'm going to take my wine, this is a fruity white wine, and I'm going to combine them half and half. Put that into a saucepan, add to it about a half a cup of sugar, but this is typically not a very sweet dessert, highlighting the beautiful flavors of the fruit that you serve it with. Now the chamomile, I'm just going to take the chamomile flowers off of here, a lot of them. So all of these are going to go into the pot with the wine, water, and sugar. And I'm going to put it over about a medium flame, let it come to a simmer, and then let it steep for about 10 or 15 minutes until that flavor is in the liquids. Now I'm going to separate 8 eggs, yolks from whites. Now I'm going to put the warm, steeped chamomile mixture, straining it through, whisk that, and then I'm going to put it over simmering water until the whole thing begins to thicken and looks really fluffy. Now, it should be all one beautiful, luscious, velvety texture, but I'm going to give it a special little douse of the house mezcal. That'll give a brightness to it, blending beautifully with the fresh herbal flavors of the chamomile.
While I was finishing things up, the guests had arrived. They looked ready for the snacks that I'd put together from the market ingredients.
So there's a little nibbles here. This is just to whet your appetite. We have some beautiful panela on a rosemary skewer. This is ate de membrillo, and it has some little sweet, sour, caramelized onions on top of it. And the other one is well, I hope it brings a smile to your face. It's just the shredded dried beef. It's over a quail egg. And then underneath that is a little bit of ricotta that I seasoned with cilantro. So I hope you enjoy these things. Very well, thank you. It's an appetizer with a little caramelized onion. And a spicy salsa.
I have never seen you so excited this morning when you came in with these treasures.
They are treasures. Yes. They are treasures. Well, wait till you get to the rest of it. It's all good stuff. I decided to do a salad that combined local ingredients and local shellfish. And I made a little dressing to go on top of them that has the local olive oil, very local olive oil, because it comes from your trees. And there's fresh fava beans and some nice little chili bits around the plate. So I hope you enjoy it.
Cheers, everybody. Wine and friends.
Actually, when you eat the dish, it brings more of the citrus out in the wine. The wine tastes different, the food tastes different, and they can both just soar when you put the right combination together. I sliced the lamb leg, ladled sauce on the plate, topped it with the meat, olives, and some fresh lemon zest. Then on went a watercress salad and the creamy vegetable boudin.
And there he is.
It's a little hard of being on both sides of things here. My biggest focus for this dish was the sauce. So it's a sauce that's made from pasilla chilies with black olives from here and your red wine. So Don, you have to tell them about the wine.
Well, we of course tasted this morning. This is Raphael. It's a very strong, but very elegant.
Yes.
That is very good.
Really good.
I'm in love with those vegetables.
What a treat, the vegetables, everything. Oh my. Lavik, here's to you. This is the meal
You're so nice.
Thank you.
for kings and queens.
Thank you.
Oh,
We have one
my.
more course left, okay? We still have the dessert left.
Absolutely.
For the dessert, I added candied orange and prickly pear cactus to the fruit that I had sliced earlier. And on top of that, I drizzled the luscious chamomile sabayon.
You gave me that I had to figure out a way to get the mezcal into the dessert. And I did. I did. One more, salud.
Salud, salud.
Well, you've eaten food tonight that I have never made before. All completely inspired by what I found right here in the valley. And I have to say that is the most exciting kind of cooking I can ever do.